Hey everyone, it's Super Luigi 11 here. Now, before you watch this brand new podcast in the very first episode, I would like you to know that we have a brand new channel, me and Heinzel, called the Fazcast. This is where we will upload the podcast each week. This first episode is going to be uploaded to my channel and Heinzel's channel and this channel, but from here on out, they will only be uploaded on this channel. So if you're watching this right now on my channel, please go watch it on this channel instead. Make sure to subscribe to it and go watch the podcasts on there because that is where they will be uploaded every single week, and we want to start pushing this channel out there. So I hope you enjoyed the first episode of the podcast. Go ahead and head over to the Fazcast channel to go watch it, and if you want to come back and watch it again on my channel, feel free to do that. But yeah, anyway, I'll see you there.
Welcome back to the Freddy Fazcast. I'm Heinzel, and today we're going to be experimenting with dead children. Hey there, and welcome to the Fazcast. I'm Heinzel, and this is
Zach, also known as Super Luigi 11 on YouTube, and today we're here to talk about the original Five Nights at Freddy's, the basic game that started all this.
episode 1, baby. Let's do this.
Yeah, so before we talk about FNAF 1, I think we should just talk a bit about this podcast and like why we're doing it, kind of what it even is, what we're going to talk about, how often it's going to be happening, all that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
So yeah, if you want to start with any of that.
Okay, so I think, at least at the beginning, we're going to be focusing on the mainline games, just talking about those, giving our opinions on the lore, mostly, the gameplay, the atmosphere, the impact of the game, and just everything about it, all the fun stuff.
Yeah. So this podcast we figured would be a good idea. I mean, in our daily lives, whenever we see each other, we'll end up having a conversation about FNAF somehow.
Do I know you?
Yeah, we don't know each other, though. We've never met, so just crazy YouTube collab. We don't know each other, actually. Yeah, you know how these YouTube collabs are.
I do. I know.
All right, so if we just want to get into it, let's just start with something basic and just let's give our basic opinions on FNAF 1. Do you like the game? Is it fun? Yeah, go ahead. You go first.
Okay, FNAF 1. Okay, so I didn't start with FNAF 1. Let's start this out. Like, I did not start playing FNAF with FNAF 1. Now, that being said, FNAF 1 is amazing. The atmosphere of the game is, I think, the best part. Its best attribute is, like, you actually feel like you're sitting in this office. I don't know. There's the background noises, the random sounds. You don't know what's going on. I like how Scott just do that in it. There's, like, random noises that just kind of throw you off. And the gameplay, I think it's simple enough for what it was. We'll see, like, way more complex mechanics later in the series, but I think it was fine for what it is. I think it really, really was a perfect start to the series. You have any thoughts on?
So, my opinions of FNAF 1, when it came out, it was definitely like crazy for the time and everything. I think looking back on it now, to be personally honest, I don't have fun playing FNAF 1. I just don't. Maybe that's because I've played through it multiple times and the 420 mode's become kind of just like easy at this point. It's like, so it's just not one of my favorites to play through, but there still is something really unsettling about it that I don't get from like any of the other games. It's just like, it's just a very creepy game, even no matter how many times you play it, even if the jump scares don't get you. It's just kind of like that creepy atmosphere.
The atmosphere is so nice. I'm currently in the closet of right now of the Freddy Fazbear location, so I know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you say how they Golden Freddy back there?
He's not in this closet. Different one.
Oh, different closet. Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, which that can actually segue pretty nicely into our next topic, which I think is lore based. Is what is Golden Freddy? Why is he there? What's his purpose? Purpose of our little friend Golden Freddy here.
You want me to start?
Yeah, I'll let you start most of these.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So, Golden Freddy, right? We don't have any mention of Fred Bears yet. We don't have any with the bite victim, so we don't really know anything about Golden Freddy at the time. Which is what I think people loved, is that there's this random character that pops up in your room. It's pretty much an Easter egg because he's very rare. It's very rare they'll even be in your room. And then you have, I know you were going to mention later the 1987 little Easter egg there with the custom night. And I don't know, he's really cool. I think it's cool. It brings up more questions, and I think FNAF would go on to be more about the mystery of Freddy's and less on the gameplay, which I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just my opinion on it. I think they'd have started focusing heavily on the story more than the actual gameplay. But
Yeah.
Freddy, I think, is the start of that. I think we see he's the big mystery there. Who is this bear? Why is he different? He's like all the other ones, right? They move to your doors. They slowly come closer. This one just teleports into your room. And I'm pretty sure in FNAF 1 it's just the head jump scare, right?
Yeah.
It's different. Everything about it is different than the other animatronics. And I think it's really cool. I think it's a really cool mechanic that he added. That is what pushed the mystery of the game.
Yeah. So Golden Freddy, at least to me, he had to be some sort of like retired animatronic from another place because the way. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. It's just life. People coming in my room. Anyway, I just had to go to the back of Freddy's real quick. They just needed me for something. So, anyway, what I was saying about Golden Freddy, the way the FNAF 1 building is set up, there's, the main stage that fits 3 animatronics, and then there's the side Pirate Cove for Foxy. There's no room for Golden Freddy in the main room, so he definitely wasn't, like, part of this building's kind of setup. So he definitely came from somewhere else. They didn't know where to put him. They just put him in a back room, this broken animatronic. And, I think...
That's a good point. I do bring up a question, though. So, if Golden Freddy's in the back room, right, and we know this is pre-FNAF 3, is the Spring Bonnie costume also back there? Or does William keep that, like, at his house?
I would be led to believe that it's in the building, because isn't that the one he uses to, like, go around and kill the kids, which I think did happen in this building, so I assume he leaves it in the building, that he can just use it when he feels like it.
Okay.
So... I just think at the time the game was released, he hadn't thought it out all the way. Scott hadn't thought it out all the way, so...
And Help Wanted lore and Glitch Trap.
Yeah, I'm sure he was thinking about Vanny in 2014, but...
Obviously, had Vanny planned out. Come on, that's not even negotiable.
I mean, Vanny's the biggest lore point of all time in Final Fantasy history.
Part of her own game. I mean...
The amount of screen time she... Anyway. So yeah, I just think that's the only reason Golden Bonnie, or Spring Bonnie, doesn't appear in the first game is because shut up. Because he didn't have the plan, but yeah.
Exactly, and that's when Golden Bonnie appeared in FNAF 3.
I don't know Golden Bonnie, so I'm confused.
Or was Golden Bonnie in FNAF 4? Yeah, sorry.
Golden Bonnie, yeah. All right, so Golden Bonnie's canon now. All right, that sounds good. Okay, so I will go ahead and ask you a question that can get us into our little next topic of lore, and that is, who is the Night Guard? What are his motives? I mean, obviously, we know the Night Guard's name on the paycheck is Mike Schmidt, but who is that? What is his importance?
So, obviously, Mike Schmidt in the games is not Mike Schmidt. At least I think that's pretty clear. In the movies, we get actual Mike Schmidt with the Schmitz.
Yeah, that's where it gets kind of weird.
I just think it's their own continuities. I literally made a whole video on this about what I thought was canon to the game story, and then everything else.
Yeah.
Go watch that if you haven't
already. Yeah, go watch that, by the way.
Thank you. But like I said, different continuities, and I think that's just a different story Scott wanted to go with. I think he wanted to make it clear that there are 2 different continuities so they didn't get mixed up. But anyways, the game's lore. I think Mike Schmidt has to be Michael Afton. I think that's who we play in every single FNAF game pre-Help Wanted. That's just what I believe. And I think... do you want me to go into the purpose of why I think Mike is there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I think that Afton has a sort of control over Mike. Like, he makes him do stuff, right? We see him go into Sister Location Bunker because that's what his dad told him to do. I'm assuming that's why he's there. He's there to put either his sister or his brother back together, right? So I think that Afton, again, because of the murders, is not allowed into the pizzerias. So he sends his son to go do the dirty work for him, to go get the parts, right? We literally see him in FNAF 3 taking apart these animatronics with an axe or whatever you want to call it. And I think that's what he's sending Michael in there to do. Obviously, he fails, but I think that's what he's doing. I think he's going in there to try and take apart the animatronics. We see this at the end of the game when it mentions him tampering with the animatronics. And I think that's what he was supposed to be doing in there for his dad.
I look at it from a different way. I think he knows what his dad was doing, or at least has some sort of a general idea of what happened and that his dad was involved in it. Because I'm sure everybody in the area kind of knew about this big tragic incident, and I'm sure he knows his dad has something to do with that. So I think he is like trying to investigate and like trying to see what's happening. And obviously, if he has the Afton name, he can't get in. So he would come up with a fake name for that. I think he's trying to investigate, and that's why he's tampering with the animatronics.
Okay, so you think so you do think he knows about the missing child incident, or he doesn't?
I think he knows it was his dad, and he's trying to
prove it to him?
Investigate. Yeah, and that's why he's tampering with the animatronics.
Okay. I mean, I can see that. I can see that as well.
Because this is getting into a different point of the lore, but I think, Henry was framed for all this, and he's the one who went to jail. And so if Michael Afton knows that it was his dad who did it, he's going to want to investigate that and be able to prove that it was his dad, not Henry.
Yeah, so I really like that theory. I love the theory about Henry going to prison. Because we don't see him. But I'm going to bring up a counter argument here, right? We see that Afton isn't allowed in the pizzerias after this. If Henry was the one that went to jail, why would Afton not be allowed back in the pizzerias? Because he would still be the owner, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it could just be a thing of like, this happened under both the owners' watch because they were co-owners. So it's like it could just be a thing of this is tragic incident happened.
Forced to leave the company.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sure he would be difficult knowing how he is. He would just be difficult to work with and not taking responsibility for what happened, and
Okay, I can see that. That's a value. I like I said, I like that. I like that you could use the newspapers from FNAF 1 about the person being convicted of the crime being towards Henry being framed by Afton. Although I don't know. It's a weird circumstance for me because I do think that the people have a somewhat understanding that Afton was also a part of the murders. Because, again, he just isn't allowed in the animatronics. He has to send Michael to do the stuff for him. But, again, that also depends on your placement of sister location in the timeline.
Yeah, speaking of the newspaper, I have it pulled up here. So I think it's this one. It says, 2 local children were reportedly lured into a back room during the late hours of operation at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza on the night of June 26th. While video surveillance identified the man responsible and led to his capture the following morning, the children themselves were never found and presumed dead. Police think that the suspect dressed as a company mascot to earn the children's trust. Which, that makes it kind of weird. It's just weird that it's like the cameras caught him and they arrested him the next morning. It can't be Afton.
Exactly. It says exactly the surveillance, right? Which,
yeah.
My bad. It says the surveillance. Gosh, what am I doing here? Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm messing with the newspaper myself. But yeah, so the surveillance kind of implies that they saw who did it, or at least they saw the mascot. And I think that's the thing. It mentions the suit, right? So their surveillance could have been like they saw the actual murders happen, but they don't know what happens to the kids' bodies. So I don't.
It says while video surveillance identified the man responsible. So it couldn't have been Afton though,
because again, surveillance, right, probably caught him removing the suit, like taking the suit off.
I think when it says surveillance caught the man, it just means they saw a man in the pizzeria at late hours, which equally could have been Henry.
Okay, I mean, as another co-owner, that would make sense.
Because realistically, if you got caught for murdering like multiple children, you're not going to get out of jail anytime. Like he would be in jail for the rest of the series, basically.
Yeah.
So there's no way.
5 children, I'm assuming you would.
But at the same time, it says the bodies were never found, so I don't know if it actually caught the incident on camera, and he like would have gone to jail for a bit, and then it was like, nothing was ever found. There's no evidence for this. You're free to go, but you are not allowed back at Freddy's.
And again, that's what I'm saying. It makes sense that's sort of how I kind of thought for a while how Afton was interpreted in the series. Like they kind of knew he did it, but they didn't have the evidence to prove it, so he was removed from the company, but wasn't like fully charged with the crime because they didn't have enough evidence. Like I think convicted means that that he was convicted for the crime, but they couldn't prove it, so he never went to jail. And like I said, I really like Henry, and maybe there was partial, like they thought Afton knew it was happening, and that's why he was again removed from the company, while Henry was the one who murdered the children, so that he was actually sent to jail.
Yeah.
Like we don't really know. Like we have no lore about Henry, like at all. It's in the games. Like I think we got one note in Secret of the Mimic, which just doesn't really help us.
I mean, they also could have just kind of assumed it was Henry because he was the one who made the animatronics in these new versions of the Springlock suits, not the original Springlock suits, because that's the whole thing now with Secret of the Mimic. But he made these Springlock suits and he made these animatronics, so obviously they would assume he's the one who's using them. He's the one, who's kind of in charge of all this. There's another newspaper that says something pretty similar. It's just like 5 children are now linked to the incident at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where a man dressed as a cartoon mascot lured them into a back room. While the suspect has been charged, the bodies themselves were never found. And Freddy Fazbear's Pizza has been fighting an uphill battle ever since to convince families to return to the pizzeria. It's a tragedy. So yeah, there's multiple newspaper that are like, the man was charged, we got him.
That newspaper you have at the bottom right, there's a quote that says, "It's a tragedy." It's in quotations.
Yeah.
Who do you think? I don't know. I could see Afton being the one that said that. Like if he did frame Henry, he'd be like, "Oh, it's a tragedy." Like he's as the CEO, that's what he's saying. I thought that was cool. I mean, it could have been.
Yeah, if it's in quotation marks, but there is actually a comment from the CEO when it says that
on a different one.
Yeah, it says a different newspaper says local pizzeria said to close by year's end, and it says after a long struggle to stay in business after the tragedy that took place there many years ago, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza has announced it will close by year's end. Despite a long year search for a buyer, companies seem unwilling to be associated with the company. And from the CEO, it says these characters will live on in the hearts of kids. These characters will live on.
Okay, so I'm going to stop there because I think that right there proves that it can't be Afton that was convicted, because we know that he is the CEO, and I think he puts a little twist in there. He says the characters will live on, again referring to like the fact that they're possessed. Like he knows what's happening. He
emphasizes it too. He says it twice. He's like, these characters will live on. That is not something Henry would write. I mean, the only time we like specifically hear from Henry is in FNAF 6, and he's so eager to just destroy it and not have any more of this tragedy. So he's obviously not going to be like 5 kids are murdered, but this will live on. That's 100% Afton.
No, I agree. I think that right
which means it would have to be Henry.
Would prove that Henry was the one convicted for the murders. He was sent to prison for it.
%.
And Afton himself, as the CEO, makes this quote like everything's going to go on. So we're sorry about this, as the CEO. But again, it brings up an interesting point. At what point is he not allowed back in the pizzerias, or does he not want to go back into the pizzerias because he's scared he'll get caught? Like there's already sort of like a watch on him.
Yeah. I feel like Afton becomes more reckless the more he does it, though. I think his first one was very carefully planned. He's like, he knows how to kill him. He knows where to put him. And I know you don't think the DCI is a thing, but I think that one would have been more reckless and kind of left out in broad daylight. Like, he would have killed him and then just, like, not bothered with hiding any evidence.
Yeah, those minigames, I don't know. I've been more open to the DCI. I was looking into it before we got started here. It's again, all the bodies in the mini games at least are thrown out. And I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't know how one for one the mini games are to what actually happened if the DCI.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's an interesting fact, because if the DCI did happen, what would happen to the 5 other missing children?
The toy animatronics.
Okay, yeah, I agree. But then after the toy animatronics was right in FNAF 3, we see a box with all the toy parts. And
yes.
And we see the Phantoms, but the Phantoms aren't toy animatronics. They're the classics.
Yeah, well, I've seen that. So the Phantoms are like kind of hallucinations of like the original animatronics, right? But apparently, I saw something that said like the Phantom Freddy model is the same as like the Wither Golden Freddy, and the only way you would have seen that. And there's Phantom Puppet, and there's Phantom BB. It's just like
the Phantom BB. Yes, you're right. That is true.
But I guess BB wouldn't be one of the ones that, in my mind, would have gotten possessed. I don't think BB.
Well, yeah, that would add an additional person. So that's weird.
Yeah,
that is weird. Because you could. That's so hard. You make me think.
And I mean, it depends. It depends which FNAF 3 ending is canon too, because it's like if the good ending's canon, the souls are set free, there's still
It can't be. That can't be a canon ending, right? Because we see the puppet move on, which there's obviously cannot be.
I don't think the puppet was in the
I think the puppet is the one
good ending.
that gives the actual gift box of life to the kids.
Yes, but the puppet itself doesn't move on, because if you look at the FNAF 3 good ending screen, there's
I'm pretty sure I might be completely wrong. I'm pretty sure the puppet is the final mask to drop. Like it drops along with all of them, because the puppet is finally, ended everything. And it's also interesting that the puppet only gives life to 5 children in that thing, which implies that at the time of FNAF 3, there's only still 5 missing children, which again is why I think proof of the DCI didn't happen.
Well, I think it's just the puppet is involved with these 5, not the 6 that would have been involved with the original Freddy's.
Because the original Freddy's, right, would have the security puppet.
The original Freddy's?
Yeah,
the security puppet. But are the security puppet and the FNAF 2 puppet the same thing?
Yes. Definitely the same thing. Because the security puppet is what goes and attaches to Charlotte when she's dead, and then we see her possessing.
That's true.
So it has to be the same thing. But it does gain.
Yeah.
I think it gains like stripes in its arms. Again, I think it's just a sign of possession with the change of eye color in Circus Baby.
Yeah, that's true. But I think the FNAF 3 ending, you see the heads of Freddy, Foxy, Chica, and Bonnie with their eyes off. The bad ending actually has Golden Freddy in the back too with his light on, but the good ending doesn't have Golden Freddy there. But it's kind of showing that like the souls of Freddy, Foxy, Chica, and Bonnie have all been released. And so you would think that would complicate how you get to Sister Location. It's like, well, they're all back in Molten Freddy. But I think it would have been the DCI kids that are in Molten Freddy. Because, the Funtime animatronics and the toy animatronics have very similar designs. I mean, you look at Mangle and Funtime Foxy, like, they're basically the same design. It's like, it would make more sense.
Do you think the two are the same character?
No, I don't think they're the same character. But I think it would make more sense if the DCI kids were the one that were all melted down into Molten Freddy or whatever. Not melted down, but like, all in Molten Freddy and all those animatronics.
The MCI is with the DCI children and not the original.
Yeah.
So are you saying?
And you look at the FNAF.
Then the good ending is true. There, the fire in FNAF ends their story.
I would think so, because the only ones that are free by that are Freddy, Foxy, Chica, and Bonnie. Golden Freddy's still around. Puppet's still around.
Do you have that pulled up, the video?
I have. It's just a picture.
Is the puppet's mask? Does it not drop at the end?
Mm.
Oh, okay, okay. If that's true,
it's just Freddy, Foxy, Chica, and Bonnie. No Golden Freddy. And that's what's so weird to me is that in the bad ending, Golden Freddy's head is in the back with his eyes like lit up. But in the good ending, Golden Freddy's just nowhere to be seen. Meaning he's still around, Puppet's still around, DCI kids would still be around.
That's interesting. That is interesting. So, again, if that is true, then what is the FNAF 3 minigames with William destroying the classic animatronics?
I mean, obviously he's trying to, tear them apart to, like kind of mess with Remnant and all that. He's trying to melt them down, mess with all that. But he doesn't get to finish that, I don't think, because on like the last mini game, you get to the room with all the kids in it, and Afton gets in the suit again and then gets spring locked. It's like I don't think he gets to finish what he was working on there.
Okay, I see. So basically, those souls stay there until Fazbear Frights, and then they end. The DCI children they're in Sister Location, right? Which we're assuming they've already been put into the fun times, and they're there. How many Funtime animatronics are there? Again, we know Circus Baby is possessed by Elizabeth. We have Ballora.
Yeah, there's Ballora.
Funtime Foxy, Funtime Freddy. Is that all?
I mean, there's Ennard, but
yeah, but Ennard's all of them. So I think that would be a little strange because with the DCI, there's at least 5. We're unaccounted for 2. Where those souls go, unless they're of course mixed together, which I don't really like that fact in Sister. I don't think soul swapping is the thing.
the puppet stays with the puppet, and then Golden Freddy stays with Golden Freddy, doesn't it?
Okay, I actually I agree. So that's definitely I like that theory. I like that.
It's just an idea. I mean, there's also a chance that the FNAF 3 good ending is not a thing, and because then it gets kind of confusing.
There has to be an ending. There has to be one ending. It's either that or the bad ending, which just implies nothing happened.
It gets kind of confusing with FNAF 6 though, because you see the tombstones with the names of the originals, who were a part of the original MCI, which just gets confusing.
Yeah, and it's putting them to rest. Again, have we had confirmation that that's the names of the original MCI children, or could this also be the DCI children? Could we be mixing up the MCI with the DCI this whole time? Could the DCI actually be first? And
the only problem is we have some of the names of the kids linked to specific characters. So we're like, Susie is Chica. We have specific kids tied.
We get that from the FNAF 6 Freddy maze, right? Where Spring Bonnie kills Susie. But we don't see the actual Chica animatronic she's put in. Is it possible it's Soy Chica?
The only problem I have with that is in Ultimate Custom Night, one of Withered Chica's voice lines is "I was the first and I've seen everything."
Mm-hmm. Okay,
so that's which I'm contradicting my other points right now. So
again,
it's
the DCI is so weird, and that's why I almost don't want to canonize it. In my head, at least, I want to think that the events we see in FNAF 2 of the DCI are just recreations of the MCI murders. But maybe that's more of a discussion for FNAF 2 when we get into it.
Sorry, Freddy's neat.
Were you going to check?
Yeah, Fred.
If there was which children it was in the back, you went and asked them.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to make sure it's actually Susie first, so I just went to ask her real quick.
That was nice of you.
I just had to ask her, so that was all.
Ask her how her dog's doing. It's good.
That's crazy.
Her dog is canonically Mangle. Okay.
Oh yeah, of course.
Or at least one head of Mangle. Yeah.
So I think we strayed pretty far off from FNAF 1, so I'm going to pull us back in, not necessarily with a lore question, but let's see.
I'm back. You pulled me in.
This is more of just a fun hypothetical question for you. If you had to remove one of the core 4 animatronics, just from all of FNAF, every variation of them, completely wipe them out, which one would it be of the 4? Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy.
Okay, so this is hard. I'm between 2. Again, Freddy has to be there. We get so many iterations.
Yeah, of course.
Love Freddy.
I think I know which 2 it's between.
Bonnie, I also agree, needs to be there. I love Bonnie.
Oh.
I do. I think Bonnie's in every iteration. It's just weird that he's not in Security Breach. I think that's weird. But Bonnie with Spring Bonnie and all that, he kind of has to be there. Now, I'm between Chica and Foxy, which I think you're going to think is really weird. Because I just think that Foxy doesn't have, I don't know. I just think in the modern series, we don't see much of Foxy. I mean, we get Roxy, right? Who is a version of Foxy. But, I don't know. Everyone knows Foxy, and I agree. Foxy is so cool. I don't know. Because Chica has some really cool lore. I do like Susie's story. I know you probably haven't read any of the tales, the Fazbear Frights, but there's one called Coming Home, which is just about Susie.
Yeah.
Fantastic story about her death. She doesn't know she's even died yet, and she's trying to come home. It's so sad. It's a great story. But I don't know, Chica's design, if we're going design-wise, I don't like Chica's design. I think it's the worst design out of the 5, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like I would also go Chica or potentially Bonnie, because I really do like Bonnie's design.
I agree, I like it.
But he's just not as important. He's basically completely absent from Sister Location other than Bon, but...
Yeah, which I think it's weird. Not weird. They tied him with Freddy because the two were, kind of synonymous with each other.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I just really like Bonnie's design in all the games.
I do. So I think it would have to be Chica, because it's
Yeah, I just think in all of her iterations, she's just I don't know, kind of bleh, meh.
Chica's just kind of an extra character who's there.
I think that...
But I think Chica's back there, actually. So Chica didn't like that, so yeah. He's gonna go fight Chica right now. Bro turned into Chica. Oh no, Chica's got him. I love how he was silently pulled away.
It was Toy Chica. I can't tell you what she did back there to me.
You just went there silently. No screaming.
I let her take me.
Oh man.
You know what? I don't care with the wallpaper. Yeah,
Wow, you just ruined the setup.
I don't care. The set needs to be destroyed.
It's,
You guys don't care, right?
it's crazy.
Right? Exactly.
Oh yeah.
They love me.
Okay. So we're making good time here. We're at about 32-ish minutes here. So we're doing good. And I still have a decent stuff left on my notes here. So I say I guess we kind of covered opinions on the classic FNAF animatronics. Mostly.
Yeah, I think again I kind of agree. Chica, most mediocre out of
You gotta stop talking trash about Chica.
Chica is my favorite animatronic. I'd probably get rid of all 4 of them over her. Sorry, I'm saying that for Toy Chica, but
I didn't include Golden Freddy in that conversation, but
I would
Golden Freddy.
I would get rid of Golden Freddy out of the first games, honestly. I love Fredbear. I love everything they do with him.
I wish he had his purple colors in the first game. I love the purple and gold.
After FNAF 2, what happens to Golden? We just never see much of him.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. You just have like regular Golden Freddy, and then you have Wither Golden Freddy, and then he's gone.
Yeah, it really is just gone. Like we don't even get mention of him. I'm guessing Cassie is in Molten Freddy. It's just weird. He's been his own animatronic
yeah.
for fun.
You see, this is how Golden Freddy should have looked. Just solid gold.
Solid gold. I mean, Afton, Fazbear Entertainment, right? They were so wealthy. They might as well.
I don't think at the start they were, though. I think at the start it was the whole idea was that it's like this small pizza chain that a few people have heard of, and it's just kind of like a local.
I mean,
like we have our local places that we know, and it's like
Secret of the Mimic, which implies that they had enough money to try and get Edwin's company shut down. Like they were, I don't know. It sounded like they were a bigger player.
The thing about that, I don't think they ever had the money to pay for that project.
I agree. They weren't going. They were never planning on paying him. They were trying to get him bankrupt.
They were just trying to find an easy way to claim his stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like,
but like I don't understand why a small company would even try that. I think they had to be somewhat
because they know it would just destroy him, and they get all the stuff. I mean, that's because it's kind of like they were just one of the clients of MCM. You know, they were just another client. They weren't like bigger than the rest or better than the rest. He just treats Fazbear as another client. So it's like
I don't know. He calls Henry by a nickname. He calls him Hen, like they're friends.
That's because they've probably talked a lot, but that he's still just a local kind of.
I don't know.
I mean, once we get to the Pizzaplex and stuff, it's kind of.
Yeah, I mean, by that point, they're definitely very big if they can do that.
Yeah, I don't think at least at the start it's like some nationwide, like everybody knows Freddy's.
Because FNAF 6 is like, I think that was the final. Like there was no more Freddy locations, and he opens one final one to draw them all back. You know. And then out of nowhere we get the Help Wanted video games that I mean, maybe that's what brings back Fazbear Entertainment with the story. Like, oh, there's a big video game down here.
I think this will be a different conversation for later, but at that point, who's running Fazbear?
That is a great topic. I think Matt Pat brought up that it was likely Miss Afton. I think that's a character we haven't seen much of. It's possible because again, that was when we had Security Breach only, and we could have seen her as like trying to bring back her husband. Like she was just as bad as he was, and she wanted to bring back her family. But again, the mimic is weird. The books tell us like it's a random guy. I don't like that. That interpretation.
Random dude.
It was I forget. It's like Mr. Banks or something like that. I don't even know.
It's just weird that this random guy is.
Sorry. Which
this random guy's so negligent. It's just like
they're still negligent like Afton was. You know, it seems like it's still the same person running it all.
Yeah, and I mean back to FNAF 1, they almost don't care in FNAF 1 too. I mean, in the Help Wanted ad, not Help Wanted the game, but like the ad in FNAF 1 to like apply for a job, it's just like it says not responsible for injury or dismemberment. Yeah, it's like that's
Ralph mentioned several times in like his speech is like he like says like a bunch of like crazy things. He's like, oh, but don't worry, that won't happen, implying that it's happening.
Yeah, and he's like, he's like upon the carpets being replaced or something being bleached, it's like he's like blah blah blah.
Dead. It's like they obviously know they're making fun of themselves a little bit, but like they know there's bad stuff happening, and they just don't care. And I just think like even in Security Breach, it's kind of the same thing. It's a bigger place, but I think that kids are going missing at the Pizzaplex, and I think they just covered up. And that's why I think it's weird they call it Mr. Burroughs as the CEO of future Fazbear Entertainment, which again Burroughs kind of ties back to the bunny. That's why I think it has to be someone related to after,
Mhm.
but who knows?
Or yeah, I could see that. Um, so more on Phone Guy. Do you think he was like kind of like forced to read from like a specific script, and he was kind of like trying to give what information he could? Like, how much do you think he knew what's going on? What do you think he was aware of, and what was his kind of goal there?
Well, okay, so I don't believe, again, watch this video if you haven't already. I don't believe that the book, The Week Before, is canon to the story. That's at least my interpretation of it. But The Week Before tells us that Ralph had been working at Freddy's locations for a long time. And then we get mention of a similar employee all the way back in Fear the Mimic, which could imply that Ralph has been working for Edwin's company and then Fazbear Entertainment for that long. You know, he got poached by it. So
Yeah.
he probably knows a lot. And I think he kind of points that out by, like, he knows about the animatronics and, like, check the suits and all that. I think he knows more than he's letting on. I do believe that. But I think he also knows that he's being listened to by the company, so he can't say too much. I don't know. That's just my interpretation. I don't think we get much about Ralph because he's not as important as other characters, but he is in FNAF 1, 2, and 3, so somewhat important.
Yeah, yeah. So FNAF 1 is where he would die, right? Night 5. No, 5? Is it 5 or 4? It's either 4 or 5.
I think it's 4. So
I think it's 5 because then 6 is
the 5 call is the random, like, grunting.
Oh, then is there no call on 6?
I don't think so. But maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong. Again, I'm not a huge expert on FNAF 1.
Yeah. So, yeah, he dies in FNAF 1, which would mean that FNAF 2 would have to be a prequel.
Again, that's why I know we mentioned earlier. I just think it was always intended to be a prequel. Like, he knew that.
That makes sense, yeah.
So yeah, that's my.
All right, let me take a look here. So the big thing of FNAF 1, the only kind of big lore point that's mentioned in FNAF 1 is the bite of 87. And there's not big context to it. It's just a random lore drop by Phone Guy. He's just like, there's the bite of 87. This guy lost his frontal lobe.
And
that's it. That's all he says.
Can't walk around during the day.
Yeah, that's all he says. So clearly, the animatronics could walk around during the day. There was someone working a day shift. They got bit.
Yeah, and I going to FNAF 2, I think we get the answer to that. Who it was. Do you know the name? What's the name?
Jeremy Fitzgerald.
Jeremy Fitzgerald. Was the daytime security guard that got his frontal lobe bit off.
Yeah, which is just more evidence that FNAF 2 is first, because it's like the bite happens in the FNAF 2, and then FNAF 1 happens. It's like,
which gives us a clear a date for the FNAF 2 gameplay will be 87.
87, yeah.
Which means that FNAF 1, the gameplay would have to be after.
After 87, yeah.
Yeah, and he almost makes it sound like the bite of 87 was a while ago. Like, it's something that's kind of not, like, talked about. So I don't know. Maybe that puts FNAF 1 in the 90s?
I mean, there's a chance it wasn't like FNAF 2 happened, then FNAF 1 happened. They could have overlapped a bit.
I mean, the gameplay,
like
the actual...
No, the actual buildings. The gameplay would have to be separated. But that's also another thing, or another reason why DCI could be a thing, because all these newspapers reference like a tragedy that happened so long ago that could have been at the other Freddy Fazbear's. It wouldn't be beyond them to call both places just Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, you know?
Yeah, well, I believe they had multiple franchises, so, you know, there was probably a lot of Freddy Fazbear's.
Yeah, so some of those incidents could have occurred at, like, other Fazbear's. When it says, like, the tragedy that occurred years ago, it's like...
I think it's mostly tragedy and not tragedies, which is why, again, I'm not convinced in the DCI. I know we had a whole discussion already about this, but the DCI is just... I'm still iffy on it. I don't fully believe it's not.
Yeah.
I'm just not fully convinced it was the thing as well.
Yeah, because the DCI, though, would have been a more gruesome thing. You know, the kids, like, he kills them and just kind of leaves it out. I think more people would consider that.
Like, even before, right, in FNAF 1, which I'm assuming is before the DCI, he's clever about it. He hides the bodies. Why would he leave the bodies in the open? And again, that if Henry was in prison, by doing that, he would unincriminate Henry, because Henry, they obviously, this happened again with the same thing. Maybe it's not the guy in prison.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I think though
These guys weird.
something I saw Matt Pat say on one of his videos. It's like actually like a scientifically proven thing. Serial killers, the more they kill, the more reckless they start to become because they just they get like excitement out of it. They start to just like not think as logical, and that's how they always end up getting caught. Is they just start to be reckless with it.
But I wonder if he would be reckless because I think, again, he knows what he's doing. He's killing these children so he can experiment on them to try and bring his family back, or at least that or gain immortality, one of the two. So I don't know why he would have. I'm sure you'd have to think about this because he's trying to plan for experiments. He's trying to fit a goal. Why be reckless if you have a plan? Because most serial killers, right, kill for, like you said, sport or for fun. But that's not Afton. That's not what he's trying to do.
I mean, there's a chance he got fired from Fazbear, and this was kind of his way of getting revenge, making the company look bad. Is he, sneaks back in, gets a suit,
I can see that,
and then makes the company look bad that fired him. He wants to get back at them because he's always just full of revenge and that kind of stuff. So it's just like if the company would have fired him, he would want to sneak back in, do the same thing, but this time make it obvious, make the company look bad for it, not himself, because no one would think it's him since he's not affiliated with the company, he's not allowed in.
So in FNAF 2, right, we get mention of the spring Bonnie suit being messed with during the day, and I wonder if, again, if we're going to the DCI, the DCI was first, and the FNAF 2 murder, the spring body suit being moved. I wonder if the MCI happened at that location. William put the bodies in the withered animatronics. Again, that would make more sense why they couldn't find them because they're not checking these old withered suits. They possess them. They get refurbished, and then we get FNAF 1.
That could be true, but the only problem I have with that is if someone was working on the withered suits,
well, you can say
like to refurbish them, you think they wouldn't?
I mean, I do think that William would have removed the bodies, or they would have found. Eventually, the police found the bodies.
That could be true. I think it'd make more sense for the MCI to come first. It happens in the first building. Henry goes to jail. Afton gets fired, and then Afton's like mad for getting removed from the company, and that's why in FNAF 2, phone guys like don't let anybody in, especially concerning previous employees. They have the whole like facial recognition thing to detect, certain people, which I would think would be Afton trying to keep him out.
Yeah.
And then he would sneak back in, take the suit, kill the kids. And that's why in FNAF 2, it's like somebody moved the suit. Like, this is bad. And it's like,
Okay. I could see that. I was just throwing that. I've never heard that before. And I just wanted to throw that out there. But that was it.
Yeah.
This just came to my head real quick.
Yeah. Let me see how we are on time real quick. Let me take a look at what else I got on my notes. Okay, so I wanted to talk a bit about gameplay. Because we haven't really discussed the actual gameplay of this game at all. This might be a conversation I lead a bit more because I guess we haven't fully kind of explained this about us. But between the both of us, we have a pretty wide variety of what we know about FNAF and kind of what we've experienced. So me personally, I think I've experienced more of the gameplay side. I beat all the 20 modes, all the max modes,
Yeah,
done all that stuff. So
FNAF 1 through 4, I'm still working on Sister Location. 6 I haven't touched. Ultimate Custom Night, I haven't even looked at it.
Yeah.
And then all the modern games I beat, but yeah.
Yeah, so from a lore standpoint, I know lore, but he knows more lore than I do. From a gameplay standpoint, he's good at the games, he plays the games, but I've got a bit more than that. So,
agree with you. 100% agree.
So yeah, that's kind of both of our sides of kind of where we are in the FNAF, what's the word, community? I don't know. Also, this just popped in my head. I just wanted to mention this. What was one of the original names that the podcast could have been called? Something Pals.
Pizzaplex Pals.
Pizzaplex Pals. Would that have been a better name?
Yes, let us know in the comments.
Listen. Would Pizzaplex Pals have been better?
You asking me?
No, it wouldn't.
Because the answer is no. The answer is no. The Fazcast is way better.
But no, I just thought that was so funny when we saw Pizzaplex Pals. I just needed to bring it up. It just popped in my head. Yeah, also, something we forgot to mention. You guys can ask questions in the comments, and we will answer them the next week.
Episode 2, baby.
Thing. Once we get to like episode 3, it's like an official weekly series. But
no one said that.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, sorry.
I said that. So once or you can ask questions in the comments. We'll answer them next time. It could be really anything. Five Nights at Freddy's. It doesn't even necessarily have. What is going on over there?
I'm punching you. You just can't see it. Watch, ready?
Oh.
Get ready.
Oh, because on my screen you're gonna look real stupid because I'm on the other side. There we go.
Ooh, look at that recoil.
So yeah, you can ask questions about lore, about gameplay, about opinions. Doesn't necessarily have to be FNAF. If you want to know my favorite flavor of Pop-Tart, go for it. I'll tell you. It's hot fudge sundae. Actually, no, it's not.
Don't ask that.
You can ask that, and I will answer it gladly. I will gladly answer that.
You can ask that on his channel, not mine. Not mine.
You can ask it on this one.
Don't you dare.
Actually, I don't know where you're watching this. If you're watching it on mine, the first like 3 episodes are going to be posted on my channel, your channel, and our new channel. So,
I'll stop you right there. Question time. What does "it's me" mean?
It means it's a.
Well, I mean, what is Freddy?
It kind of ties into the one you should not have killed.
Oh, so
it's like it's me. Oh yeah.
You don't think it's
or,
the crying child?
That's it.
It's me. It's your brother. It's the one you freaking killed.
That's actually not a bad thought, because it's also the same thing. What I think about Golden Freddy is that he doesn't actually ever have the ability to kill a person. He's just able to make himself a hallucination, make himself appear. So there's a chance he makes himself appear to Michael. He's like, "Hey, it's me," and
And then that's when
I think that would make sense.
Actually, I got one more question for you too. You gave me plenty of questions, so it's your turn.
Yes.
FNAF 1, before or after Sister Location? The gameplay. That helps.
The gameplay?
Yeah.
Before
Sister Location.
Well, hold up. I guess it makes sense to be after, because, and that would also tie into his motives more, because the first thing Michael does would be go into the Sister Location bunker because his dad asked him to. He's like, "Okay, I don't know why you want me to go into any of this," or whatever. He's like, "Okay, whatever." And so he goes down in the bunker. He sees what happened to his sister, and he's like, "Okay, my dad's a psychopath. I need to figure out what's going on here." And then he would start applying to the Fazbears and trying to work there and figure out what's going on.
Okay. I see that. I like that.
Yeah. So we got far away from the topic of gameplay. We never got to. I had the idea for gameplay, and then we just got off topic. So gameplay, it's the basic FNAF. You got your door lights and your doors. Got to manage your power. So it's just pretty basic gameplay there. But at the time, it was a pretty big thing.
It's cool.
Yeah, and I mean,
now in the modern games, like I said, it's kind of less replayable than some of the other ones. At least I kind of skip over it, but it is fun. It's the atmosphere is great. The gameplay's cool. It's just when we have so many games like this now, it's less replayable.
Yeah, and I think at the time, Foxy and Freddy added a pretty big twist, because everyone who doesn't know Five Nights at Freddy's, when they think of Five Nights at Freddy's, they're just like, "Oh, they come to your door, you close the door, they're gone." But Foxy adds an interesting mechanic that makes you check the cameras. You got to watch him. Because the way the game is actually set up, the way Scott did it is actually pretty smart, because the animatronics at the doors can't kill you unless you open and close the camera. So, like, Chica could be at your door could be wide open, but she can't actually kill you until you open the camera. So Foxy kind of gives you a reason that you have to look in the cameras. Otherwise, you could just sit in the office and not do a thing.
Same with Freddy, right? You have to watch him on the cameras.
Same with Freddy.
Yeah. I kind of put it down into, you have the 2 door animatronics and then the 2 camera animatronics, because Foxy just requires you to look at the cameras, any camera, and then Freddy requires you to look at his specific camera.
Yeah, so Freddy's a weird one. You can camera stall Freddy, which means if you watch his camera, he can't move.
Yeah.
Which I mean
I think
that's
what you're supposed
the
to do. I think that's how you're supposed to do.
yeah, yeah. And I mean that's how the strategy for 420 mode is. Which actually the way FNAF 1's set up, just opening the cameras counts as checking Foxy's camera.
Yeah.
You don't actually have to be on Foxy's camera, which that I don't think was intended. That
Really? Well,
I don't think that was an intended mechanic.
I think if you didn't do that, then you'd have Freddy and Foxy having the same mechanics.
You got to switch between their camera. I think
I don't know
that wasn't a.
I mean, I guess you could say that because Bonnie and Chica have very similar mechanics. Just right now.
Yeah, because the way you do 420 mode, you let Freddy get to that corner by you, and you just watch Freddy's camera, and it just counts as checking Foxy. You don't ever have to look at Foxy the entire night.
Yeah,
I
like it like that, honestly.
I like it like that, but I don't think it was intended to be like that.
Okay.
But that's about all I wanted to cover on like specific gameplay. You know, the 420 mode is very easy, probably the easiest 20 mode out of the series. If anyone plans on beating one, that one's pretty easy. I'll probably make a tutorial on it at some point, but
tutorial just released today. I don't know when you're watching, not today when you're watching this, but last week for you.
Yeah.
On FNAF 1 Night 2 on Heinzel, so go check it out.
Oh yeah. FNAF 1 Night 2. When's...
Also, I do have a question from a viewer here, so can I pull that up real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Caleb425 asks, how big is Freddy's Fazcock?
Is that actually what he said?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. How big?
Something tells me that's not a real account.
It's right here on my phone. Look, I can't show you, but it's on.
You're just on the home screen.
No, but I was looking at it. Yeah.
You were on the lock screen actually.
Yeah. See, look right there. See.
And this is lore I do not know myself. Mm-hmm. So you'll have to go figure that one out. Play the game for yourself. You know.
Can you just go check? You're there. Right?
No, it's just I am there, but Freddy doesn't come off stage, and it's just a long walk to the stage.
Wait, he doesn't come off stage, or?
Yeah, exactly. So
that would be appropriate.
I would have to.
He has to do it behind. He has to do it in the back. He has to do it behind.
Yeah, yeah, I'd have to go to the stage. So.
Okay, I understand. It's fine.
Yeah.
Also, you're draining a lot of power. I'd recommend opening those doors.
Listen, I just want to be safe. You know, it's only been 1 hour, so. So I want to go over just some of the Easter eggs in the original game.
Yeah.
I think I have some of them pulled up. Let me find them. Let's see. So there's obviously the It's Me stuff that appears all over the screen. You know, you can see a poster of Golden Freddy in the corner. Golden Freddy will appear in your office. So that one's obviously the most known Easter egg is Golden Freddy. But there is actually a 1 in 10 chance that when Foxy leaves his cove, that the sign that says "out of order" will change to "It's me."
I've seen that, yeah.
So that one's a pretty cool one, and I don't know if there's any lore significance behind any of these, but it's just.
Well, I think you could take that, right? I personally believe the Bite of 87 was done by Foxy, and "It's me," with the 1987 thing with the custom night. Kind of the Bite at 87, and then we see Foxy's on his stage with 80.
Yeah.
With It's Me. So maybe they're tying those two together.
And that's another Easter egg that actually came in an update of FNAF 1. When you put in 1987 in the custom night, you'll just get a Golden Freddy jump scare.
Well, that, and they also, they fixed how Scott spelled pizzeria.
Actually?
Yeah, he spelled pizzeria with an A instead of an E. It's like if you look up at any posters, it has the A in it, and he finally fixed it. I forget when he fixed it, but yeah, he misspelled it.
That's actually so funny.
He spelled it like pizzeria instead of Ria.
So there's actually the rarest Easter egg, or one of the rarest Easter eggs in the game, is really weird. There's a 1 in 1,000 chance that when you return to the title screen, there's just an image of Bonnie with empty eye sockets.
Okay, I have seen that, yeah. I have seen that. And it stays there for a while, I believe, on your screen.
It's just, yeah, and it's just like such a weird thing and it's just before you're sent to the title screen. You just get that weird image of I was Bonnie, and it's just there.
I wonder if it's implying that, at the end, right, we see our eyes popping out of the Freddy suit. Maybe that time we're putting the Bonnie head on us. They're putting the head.
It could be. Yeah, maybe it was just a fun thing you felt like putting in the game.
That's what they do with our body if they kill us, right? They actually do shove it into the suits.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
So,
weird they do that, right? Again, I think they think we're William Afton, and we probably look similar because we're literally his son. So.
Yeah, that would make sense. So that about covers all my notes that I have. I'll look through it again real quick, see if we've covered everything. We didn't cover the kitchen camera not working.
Yeah, I think that's just maybe Scott wanted you to use your sound mechanic,
It was supposed to be, yeah. He did better at using sound in later games, which you can hear when she goes in the kitchen. You hear her little pots and pans or whatever, but it doesn't actually really help at all playing the game. But, it's there. It's a thing.
You don't have to check that right side if you hear the spots.
Yeah,
and also,
that's true.
Technically, you can just listen to their scuffling. You don't even have to check the lights. Technically.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah.
Because...
Yeah, that's not a part of the strategy guide.
Yeah.
That will be on Heintzel by the time this is uploaded. So if you haven't watched that, even if you've beat FNAF 1 Night 2, I think you did it wrong.
Come here. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, that's about. Oh, there was one thing I wanted to talk about. This is just kind of a fun little thing. But Scott did an interview with Dawko, and in the interview he said Foxy wasn't always supposed to be a fox, and there were other contenders for that.
I've seen that.
There was a wolf. He said a beaver was one of the options, but too close to someone else, so he couldn't do the beaver. I think a fox or a wolf would have been interesting. Get Roxy.
That Foxy got replaced by a wolf version of himself in Security.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I always thought Roxy was a version of Foxy, but now that we have Secret of the Mimic, they're separate characters who have always been.
I still think she is, though. I think she's a version of Foxy. I mean, I know in
kind of, yeah.
I'm saying out of game lore. I think she's the Foxy stand-in.
Mm-hmm.
Even Roxy is just very similar to Foxy, and they're fox, wolf, similar creatures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I know you're saying the Secret Mimic, we get Deadeye Roxy, which we know that was her origin.
Yeah. You get the Deadeye Roxy rodeo hat or whatever.
Yeah.
That's one of the.
And there's a cardboard cutout.
Yeah. Well, that's about all my notes. So if you have anything else you want to say? Oh, I do have another question. It's not lore. I already used my lore questions. But do you have a favorite memory from FNAF 1? Playing it, theories about it, just what was your favorite thing? You're this is my favorite thing from FNAF 1 that I remember.
Well,
I know what mine is, but I'll let you go first.
Like I said, I didn't start with FNAF 1. It was my first game. And I just more wanted to complete the series to actually play it myself. To know, I watched a lot of lore videos to start off with. And I know a lot of the community is like that. They don't actually play the games, they just watch the theory videos, which is completely fine. I just wanted to...
Or podcasts.
Exactly. Isn't there one called the Fazcast? I've heard that one's really nice.
The Fazcast podcast?
I've heard that.
With Heintzel and Luigi? Anyway.
The Heintzel guy, I trust him. I don't know if it's Luigi. But... Anyways, I started playing it, and I remember I think it was night 6. At first I was struggling, and I was in the car, and I was playing it for quite a while, and I finally beat it, and I was just so happy. It's just randomly in the car once. So yeah, I think that's probably my best memory with FNAF 1 at least. Yeah, mine's similar to that. It was back when I was first making videos. I would set up my phone and record my computer screen with my phone. I did the same thing on TV. Yeah, so I'd finished Ultimate Custom Night, 50/20 and all that, and I was I want to go back through the whole series. That's a weird way to go, but okay. I know, I was like, I haven't played these other games, I want to go through the series, so I went to FNAF 1, and I got to the night 7, I'm okay, I want to beat this mode, I'm
50-20 took me forever. This is going to take forever. And I die on my first attempt at like 1 a.m. I'm like, man, this is going to be tough. And then I beat it on my second try. I'm like, there's no way it was that easy. I still have the video. It's privated. But my reaction to that was so funny.
Yeah, I mean, go watch that video, guys. He's gonna publish it after this, so go watch it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna republish it. Yeah. Anyway, that's about all I have. We're at about an hour and 3 minutes here, but some of it will have to be cut.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Freddy Fazcast. I'm Heinzel.
I'm Luigi.
And we'll see you in episode 2. Goodbye.